great session. I think the professional opportunities we have with us Anis Mehtaji, who is a chartered accountant. He is in chapter of the. He is a chairman of the Dubai chapter, Abu Dhabi UAE chapter, and he being associated with the number of great ICAW also, and having more than 20 years experience in audit and insurance, and last 15 years in the Arabian Gulf kind of experience. He brought a lot of good concept into his chairmanship. He also, formed a dedicated WhatsApp group for helping members who have the lost opportunities. So we have the Anis Mehtaji. I'm welcoming Anis Mehtaji to this particular panel discussion, and he's going to take the lead as a moderator. Next, we have Neeraj Rituliaji. He is a chartered accountant, of course, in the year 95, and having more than 25 year of experience in this. He is the chairman of Abu Dhabi chapter and CFO of leading companies in Abu Dhabi, and he is professional speakers in various programs, and he has the quality to guiding all the new members coming from India about the job and offer. So I am welcoming the Neeraj Rituliaji. Next we have Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumarji, he is also having lot of 20 years of experience, and he is being chairman of the Bahrain chapter, and he is there from in the Bahrain from last 1 decade, and he is in his chairmanship. He brought the examination center to this Bahrain country. So I welcome this Ajay Kumarji. Now we have another chairman. Qatar Sakir Bhai. He is the chairman of the Kuwait sector, and he is a director and CFO of the Gulf consultant. He being known with the various his knowledge, and he also awarded President Award STS Varuna. That is the main award, prestigious award, and he speaks profitably on the various topics. And in his time also, he created the opportunity for the exam center for fresh chartered accountant, for fresh member, and creating awareness about the opportunities in the Kuwait sector. We have Ramandra Prabhuji. He's the chairman of Omani Muscat chapter. He's a co-founder of the executive director of Middle East Chartered Accountant also, and he worked in a bank group, business group, international audit firms, and he having a vast kind of experience. And in his leadership newsletter for the member reference is also very welcome stage being done. Next, we have Sandeep Chaudhary. He was the chairman of the Qatar chapter. He is also chartered accountant, of course, past 1988, and various attached with the various functionality, core finance and others area. And he also lot of things he brought it to the Sandeep Chaudhary in the Doha chapter. Now, next we have our another speaker, panelist, Adinachar Balcha, who is also from the Africa country, not GCC country, and he is a serving chairman. He also brought the examination center of the ICAI to this Uganda sector, and various initiatives which he has taken in this bridging the gap with the Uganda and India. Next, we have the Viswanasu Trivedi. He is a chartered accountant since 1987 and serving as the chairman of the Darussalam chapter of the ICAI. And he's been there in the Tanzania for the last 13 years, having rich kind of experience and a lot of rich experience got it. And with this, I think a lot of speakers, the panelists are the fulfilled of they did in their life, achievement of the life because of his chartered accountant. Now he is there serving, giving back to the society, giving back to society. That is the only purpose they came to this particular platform and guide customers. Though being a chairman, he is serving to the all in the chairmanship, all the members and the student for giving opportunities for the chartered accountant in the region. We will have to take the lead to the Anis. He is the chairman of the Dubai chapter. Will take the lead how the unlocking the other professional opportunities in this GCC and Africa. So over to Anis. So Anis, please, I welcome to you to this forum. Take the lead, and it's now of yours, and take the lead.
Thank you, Dheeraj Bhai, for such a good and brief introduction. And we know that how love and passion you have for these regions, both the Middle East and Africa. So thank you, and I want to place sincere Atul Gupta ji, Niyar Jambu Saria ji, yourself, Hansraj Shuksab, and all the Central Council members to give a special place to the overseas chapters, particularly from Middle East and Africa. And this itself shows that how important role we play also in the growth of the Indian economy. So thank you once again. Moving to the topic today of the discussion, unlocking professional opportunities in Middle East and Africa. Mostly people will know that Middle East and Africa are the two regions which host half of our members residing abroad. It is estimated that around 17 to 18,000 members will be residing in these two regions. The prominence of two regions can be understood from the fact that ICAI has 11 chapters in the Middle East, 6 chapters in the Africa, 1 rep office in the Middle East, and 13 rep office in the Africa. So firstly, talking about the Middle East, it's worthy to note that in last couple of decades, the Middle East has grown into a hub of opportunities for professionals from across the globe. Locations across the Middle East region have developed into real recruitment hotspots that now attract a wealth of international talent. Alongside attractive job prospects with some of the world's top firms, the absence of income tax in many countries in the region also offers a real incentive for the job seekers. Demand for skilled labor comes from large multinational as well as regional firms looking to increase their workforce. With the Saudi government plans to invest over $370 billion on social development infrastructure projects to advance the kingdom's economic development, Abu Dhabi's plan for 14 major infrastructure projects, and Dubai continue to be a hub for the growth of the region, there is a plenty of demand of new skills across the Middle East. Having said that, Middle East jobs offer good remuneration and benefits package as well as ongoing training and development opportunities. It's quite worthy to note that our chartered accountants in the Middle East are CEOs of many large companies. Now the next we will have to take about Africa. So talking about Africa, we all know Africa is not one country. It's a continent having more than 50 countries. Home to the world famous Victoria Falls and Mount Kilimanjaro, exotic wildlife, as well as 54 sovereign states and roughly 1,500 to 2,000 spoken languages. Africa is a continent of diversity with plenty to explore. It is often said that this period belongs to Africa, where the huge expected consumption has to be tapped and strong growth will come up with the huge infrastructure development and tourism opportunities in some of the beautiful countries. Things are looking very positive for African economy. The World Bank has forecast an economic growth of 3.6% at the end of 2020. A number of multinational companies, including big names such as L'Oreal, Deloitte, PwC, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, has African bases. So therefore, the steady growth over recent years have resulted in search of the need of foreign professionals. Those with the right skills who are willing to make the move could be rewarded with a highly attractive salary and benefits package. Now I have particularly emphasized on the right skills. Why is that so? Because right skills means that one extra skill, then the others will put you in better position than the others. As a chartered accountant, we all have right accounting and auditing skills. But we all know with accounting and audit skills, nowadays other relevant skills are required. This may be data analytical skills, tax savvy skills, compliance skills, business decision-making skills, communication, to name a few. So it's worth noting that although skilled international candidates are sought after, there is a government pressure also on the organization to hire local talent. So our professionals will have a good competition with the local talent as well. Today, in this particular session, we have chairmen of few countries from the Middle East and Africa who will share their insights on different opportunities which exist in the two regions, and let us see what steps we should take to unlock the vast opportunities which exist in these regions. the initiative which Government of India and Government of Middle Eastern and African countries have taken in recent years and expected emerging opportunities, I am confident that many new opportunities will contributing to the growth of our country and our members' growth will emerge in this country. With this brief introduction, let me move on to the debate session or the panel session. And my first question will be to CA Neeraj Ritolia, who is the chairman of Abu Dhabi chapter. Neeraj, my question to you is, in past few years, we have seen the business and social relationship between UAE and India has strengthened to all-time high. So what are the developing sectors in the Middle East, particularly UAE, wherein talent of people of India can be utilized for helping the sectors to grow in Middle East? And I would like you to give one or two examples to elaborate this. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thank you, Anish. First of all, you gave a very brief and very elaborate at the same time description of the whole Middle East region. And the few things which you have already covered in terms of where the expansion is happening and how the country leaderships are looking into it. First of all, let me start with saying that UAE is with its amazing leadership. The vision of the leaders are unbelievable. I mean, during the COVID, the way the UAE has done in terms of facilities, in terms of quarantine facilities, in terms of vaccination is above par amongst any region, any country in the world. Now, UAE being one of the liberal regime in the Gulf area, it attracts a lot of strong capital flow. UAE focused in, has moved to non-oil now, and it is now focusing on manufacturing, logistics, trade, banking, tourism, real estate. So these are many sectors which is being concentrated now, and the major aim to move from oil-based economy to non-oil-based economy. We have seen massive investment into manufacturing side in the country now. He also saw a major liberalization in terms of 100% foreign ownership being given on mainland businesses. This was never earlier. Earlier used to have a local sponsor to do it on mainland. There are few free zones, and almost I would say close to 30 free zones, where foreign investment of 100% were allowed. The mainland investment of foreign 100 sponsorship without sponsorship is for the first time that we have seen. And this brings in a lot of synergy between India and UAE. Investors from India should look into opportunity that is available in this market. Now, in terms of sectors, I would say that we have seen again a big change from accountancy. I'm talking about especially for the chartered accountants now, from a shift from accountancy to consultancy side. Recently, 2 years ago, we had to picture. Then, with a lot of other regulations which is coming up in UAE, primarily I would say ESR, Economic Substance Regulation. Then you have data protection. So with this, all these things requires an expert knowledge and a consultant to help a lot of small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. No. This is one area where I would say chartered accountant can explore their opportunities. Finance professionals are required. Accountancy, we have seen a bit of a drop in the requirement. Abu Dhabi chapter recently had a employment placement fair for its members. And when we approached a lot of corporates to provide job opportunities, if there is any, we saw that most of the manufacturing companies declined, saying that we don't have immediate plan to recruit any finance professional. At the same time, there has been a surge in a lot of business. So that is one area which I would say the people should focus on. Apart from that, we have seen a major change in a lot of technology. So technology, data, software analysis, those things are coming up in big time. Abu Dhabi is focusing in fintech and labor to employ after the twin setback of a drop in the oil price as well as the coronavirus pandemic. We have seen that UAE, especially, is now pushing very hard in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of fintech development to bring in a lot of employment.
So, Neeraj, if I have to sum up this thing, so I think it's a win-win situation now for even entrepreneurs because things are opening up. It's 100% ownership they can get. And for the professionals, a lot of compliance regulations are coming, as well as a lot of technology front is growing up, which India is pioneer anyways in technology. So I think there are a lot of opportunities to this. Sorry to cut you in between because I will come back to you again.
Okay.
I'll come back to you again. So let me go to the other panelists.
Sure.
And my next question is to CA Ajay, who is the chairman from the Bahrain. CA Ajay, your teams have a very unique tagline, which is log into the future. So if I were to ask you to log into the future and tell us what do you see as future opportunities that can be unlocked in Bahrain specifically? CA Ajay.
Thank you, Anish bhai. First of all, thank you to ICAI for having me on this. To answer your question, see, I do see the Gulf Dream as we know it. Is it probably at the beginning of it, and this is what I see in the future. And this is largely due to the interconnected world that we live in, with high levels of automation and the local population becoming increasingly very capable of performing most of the routine jobs that we have been providing. But that said, I believe differentiation is the name of the game. Especially, I think, as you mentioned earlier, Anish bhai, having the right skill will be the important factor going forward. And I applaud the ICAI for who are thinking of upskilling, reskilling by introducing more and newer areas that the CAs can handle. In the near and medium future for Bahrain, I do see some of the areas that are developing, like the business-friendly Bahrain concept that is being pursued very aggressively by the government. So the Bahrain's regulatory framework, is known to be one of the most efficient ones. And they have recently changed to the companies law, which has made it very easy to set up businesses in Bahrain, done away with minimum capital requirements. A significant number of sectors are now permitting 100% foreign investment. So this I see, leading to a boom in the SME sector in particular. And the Economic Development Board here has seen an increase of commercial registrations at a staggering, I would say, 109% growth compared to the previous year, which is the highest in the region. So that's one big area. And new areas of consulting is also opening. I think, like Neeraj bhai mentioned, ESR, AML, ultimate beneficial owner, these are also coming here in addition to VAT. Data privacy law is a new area which has come. Environmental, social, government reporting, which is currently optional for listed companies. I would see it becoming more mandatory for almost all entities. A mandatory health insurance is coming and related services. Even audit services, I do see a rise here as well. The regulatory framework is being prepared in this regard, but we know that at least more than 50 firms are awaiting final license, and mostly from India, which is actually big for a small country like Bahrain. Innovation, again, something that the government is promoting very heavily, and this I would see Bahrain becoming a regional hub for big companies. There's a good example of AWS, Amazon Web Services, which have set up regional headquarters here. Fintech investments is another area that is being pushed. And I believe India will have a big benefit from this focus area. So many other, there is something called Smart Hub for Logistics, which was set up recently, which is like first of its kind in the region, which works to integrate a track and trace system on blockchain platform with smart contracts and so on. So this, again, technology where India will be heavily involved. And finally, one of the areas I also see is the green growth and sustainable energy. Where the country is trying to diversify into lower carbon industries and sectors, which are beginning to yield results, and with investments in renewable energy and so on. So UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, I think all of them are taking a lead in this. And as you know, Indian government taking a lot of steps in this area, and they could act as the thought leader in this area and provide the necessary expertise. So just to conclude, I would say the routine accounting jobs, the ones that we, the most traditional ones, probably are going to be increasingly closed for expats in the future. But then new areas are opening up, especially entrepreneurship, which now has become very, very easy, and building a differentiating skill in many areas is the way to go, in my opinion. Thank you, Anish.
So that's very good news. And again, I think there's a positive feeling coming after listening to both of you that there are things opening up for professionals in form of compliances. So probably a chartered accountant with a chartered secretary degree will be better placed than a normal chartered accountant. So I think. And then also good for the chartered accountant who wants to be entrepreneur. So I think it's a very welcome news. With this, let me move to our another dear friend, CA Qatar Shakir, who is the chairman of Kuwait. Qatar Saab, I have a question for you. What opportunities do Kuwait offer the professionals who wish to relocate to Kuwait? And what challenges does Kuwait pose, and how someone should overcome those challenges? CA Qatar?
Qatar Saab, you're on mute.
Mute, huh?
Okay, sorry for this. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of this panel discussion. To answer your question, Anish ji, I would say Kuwait offers employment opportunities as professionals and in industry, and also business opportunities to members who wish to invest and start their own businesses in Kuwait. As professionals in practice or in employment, I would say young and fresh chartered accountants have great opportunity to work with accounting firms and private companies here in Kuwait. Though one cannot practice or sign off financials as per the laws here, but surely they can work as professionals and rise to partner level, which is the case with all the big four and other auditing firms. In industry, there are opportunities as accountants, finance managers, CFOs, and a lot of our members also rise to the levels of CEOs and COOs of companies. Though challenges would be in government sector with Kuwaitization in full force and being pursued aggressively by the government. For instance, the K companies, that is the oil companies or the ministries who lay off the expat workers in favor of Kuwaitization and employing Kuwaitis. But that's not the case with the private sector. The reason I'm optimistic is because of various potential developments which are taking place in Kuwait, which I would like to list a few. Latest laws enacted for public-private partnership expected to emerge in infrastructure and service delivery projects related to public services. Projects of that magnitude increase imports, labor, and job creation, as well as opportunities for local and international financing and B2B opportunities. There are 6 new major offshore drilling locations proposed in Kuwait. This would be leading to specialized offshore companies starting projects in Kuwait. Again, this would lead to increased subcontractor, transport, and allied activities. To say on November 30, 2020, Kuwait has included itself in the Morgan Stanley Capital International MSCI Index with 8 large corporates as constituents. The inclusion brought in huge inflows to the market, as the total traded value during the inclusion was almost around, I think around 961 million dinars, most of which came from foreign inflows. This has increased, of course, the opportunities in investing activities. Establishment of Kuwait Direct Investment Promotion Board, that's KDIPA, and the free trade zones to support Kuwait's 2035 vision, which aims on transforming Kuwait into a financial and trade hub regionally and internationally and becoming more attractive to investors, where the private sector leads the economy, creating competition and promoting production efficiency under the umbrella of supporting institutional body, which accentuates actually international values, preserves local identity, and achieves social development. This is, of course, based on the vision which His Highness, the late Amir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah Ahmad Jabir Al Sabah had, and the implementation of His Highness's vision is carried forward by the present Amir, Sheikh Nawaf, who endorses this and is determined to take this to the next level. So important advantages that Kuwait has in this regard would be the strategic geographical location, encouraging legislative body, because it's a parliamentary system, a comprehensive judicial system, and a balanced international foreign policy in this regard. So I think all in all, I would say there are opportunities for CAs who would like to get into employment or join as professionals or do business in Kuwait and tap opportunities here. Yeah.
So yeah, again, great to hear these thoughts, and I'm sure, I think a lot is happening in Kuwait, and probably I think Middle East countries will compete with each other to get the best talent to work for their countries. Absolutely. So thank you very much for this response. With this, let me move to CA Ramanatha Prabhu, who is the chairman of the Muscat Oman chapter. Prabhu Sahab, very simple question. We have heard a lot of regulatory changes are happening in Sultanate of Oman, which facilitates Atmanirbhar Bharat. So where Indians go there and set up shops. Okay, if you can throw light on this, please.
Thank you very much, Anish Mehta ji, for this opportunity. I also thank ICAI leadership for this opportunity. We are grateful to late His Majesty Sultan bin Qaboos bin Said and the current Sultan His Majesty Haitham bin Tariq for being Oman promulgated 6 new laws in Sultanate of Oman 2019 for augmenting economic development and investment opportunities in Sultanate of Oman. The first being the new commercial company law, which has been 18/2019, bringing more transparencies, simplified procedures, and investor friendly. The second being the new mining law, which is 19/2019, which is setting up the new public authority for mining to give the development of economy and support diversification of Oman economy, and also to give the flip to the sector, especially for the Africa and India in the sector of limestones or the cement, or you have gypsum. There is a huge opportunity for this product. And second is for the European market and the US market. Oman India also have free trade agreement, which will give the Omani products which a competitive advantage, and you have the huge window of opportunity in this area. And coming to the new foreign capital investment law, which is Royal Decree 50/2019, it is again they have removed the Omani sponsorship. Now you can have 100% ownership, and they have also removed the cap on the investment, and also the relaxation of the Omani sponsorship, and with subject to some activities reserved to the Omanis. Moving to next, we have also a privatization law, which has been 51/2019, which is issued to unlock the public sector undertaking and to give the flip to the economy. And next, we have also public-private partnership law, which is 52/2019 Royal Decree, which is especially to stimulate efficiency and the quality for public services and the projects, and also in the area of development to give the economy and development of the Omani growth. To name one of the key project in this which is under Kaizen Free Zone, which has the largest private-public partnership in Oman, which is just 50 kilometers away from the international airport, which will have huge opportunity, especially for Indians, where you can have manufacturing, where you can have SME development, where you can have central vegetable and fruit market, and you have international schools, and you have retail outlets, you have healthcare, and many more. It is in the heart of the Muscat city, and it is accessible and just half an hour drive from the international airport. And moving to next, we have all this will have very interesting time.
So
with all this, we have a creative strategic partnership opportunity for all our Indian businessmen to create and co-create and collaborate with Omanis and work together for Oman's development opportunities. And also, this will also support our new Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative.
Okay, so Prabhu Sahab, again, I think very positive vibes coming from your side, and again, particularly removal of that 100% barrier, and now 100% foreign direct investment can happen, which means a lot of investments is probably ready to come from India and other countries. So great news again. Thank you for this sharing these views. Now I'll move to CA Sandeep Chaudhary, who is the chairman of the Qatar chapter. And Sandeep Sahab, we all know that clean fuel natural gas is now replacing oil, and Qatar is the biggest producer and supplier of LNG to the world and is on the massive expansion drive. So based on these facts, do you see more unlocking of opportunities for chartered accountants in this wealthiest country of the world?
Good evening. Thank you, Anishji. Let me put it in right perspective. Qatar is distinctly different as compared to other Middle East countries because its economy is based on gas rather than oil. And as per estimates, by 2030, as you rightly mentioned, 27% of the energy basket will consist of gas. Qatar is on a massive expansion drive. And in the next 5 years, it is going to increase its capacity from 78 MMPTA to 123 MMPTA. That means with the sheer scale of operations, lowest cost of production, and combining it with co-production of condensate and LNG, it is going to be the biggest supplier of LNG in the world for the next 10 years. So what it brings for us as chartered accountants. Currently, we have around 500 chartered accountants in the state of Qatar. And 1 out of 5 chartered accountants are directly working in oil and gas sector, and others are indirectly employed by oil and gas sector. Now, looking into this expansion drive, we believe so. If you can bring the kind of knowledge which is undergoing a sea change, if we can add a digital wing to it, we can see that the demand for chartered accountants in state of Qatar can be increased by 100%. Besides this, Qatar is vying to be the sports capital of the world. 20 months down the line or 22 months down the line, we are going to host FIFA 2022 World Cup. And we welcome the whole world, and we are going to give you the best experience which has been experienced in the history of football. Besides that, in 2030, Doha is going to host the Asian Cups. That means at some point in time, sports, tourism, and hospitality will be the backbone of this particular economy. And that will open up many more sectors for our chartered accountants to come and do the practice and also carry out many business opportunities that we have in state of Qatar. So in totality, I can say, if you can bring the things together, there is no dearth of opportunities in Middle East and in particular in Qatar. Over to you, Anish.
So, Sandeep ji, listening to you, it seems like so much is happening in Qatar, and you are directly or indirectly inviting all the chartered accountants to visit Qatar to watch the Football World Cup. It will be a big task for you to manage everyone, so please be ready for that.
Yes, on behalf of ICAI Doha chapter, we welcome all the chapter chairperson to be in Qatar in 2022, and it will be our pleasure to host you all.
Maybe people can arrange the study tours over at that time.
Definitely.
So annual conference, please, annual conference.
Okay, great. So with this, let me move to the other region, and that is the Africa region. And we have with us today CA Adinarayan Balsha from the Kampala, Uganda chapter. And you will see, when I will speak, you will see yourself that being youngest chairman of overseas chapter, if I have to ask Adi, and if I can see Adi on the screen, then people will see that how young he is. So if I were to ask you, what would be your guidance to our new generation chartered accountants to unlock the professional opportunities in Uganda and in Africa?
Anishi, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Good evening to all the professional colleagues and all protocols observed. I hope all CAs are making use of this ICAI International Conference to strengthen their skills and to face this worst pandemic situation which we have ever seen. I'm delighted to be named as the youngest chairman, and I take a moment to thank all my fellow chartered accountants in Uganda to give me this opportunity here. Regarding the question, Anishji, I would like to say that in this worst economic distress also, Uganda and majority of the African countries have not lost a single job, has not lost any opportunities here for any CAs here present in Uganda and majority of the African countries. And if you see the statistics of Uganda, more than 70% of the chartered accountants are above the age of 40 years. And the new generation CAs who is coming now is not opting for Africa. I don't know the major reasons what they feel, but we feel the major reasons is the misconceptions and myths and the misbeliefs about Africa. So on this platform, my advice to all the new gen CAs is to inquire about the Africa from the sources from Africa so that they can take the opportunities and they can start their careers in places where in the shortest time they can lead to the highest profiles in each companies. Concerning to the auditing, consulting and accounting profiles, yes, there are many opportunities here. And Uganda especially now has signed an agreement with the East African countries. So they have made it single territory between Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. And we are also signing a treaty with Congo and South Sudan. So all these countries will be as a single platform. And Uganda and Kenya having the benefit of highest manufacturing centers in the region, it leads to a lot of opportunities in Uganda, both in job and as entrepreneur. And recently, Uganda has found out its oil and gas resources in Uganda like 3 years before. And now, very soon, they are going to start extraction of the oil, which is again a positive indicator for the economy here. And considering all these positive indicators of the economy, all the options of jobs in the concerning the auditing, accounting, and consulting are very green carpet open to the new generation CAs here. But personally, I suggest the new generation CAs, in addition to their jobs, I would like to look them in the managerial sector and in the outside the auditing and accounting profiles, where if you see the majority of the CAs in Uganda are CEOs and the directors and the entrepreneurs. So with this lot of scope of practice, consultation And another area of expertise here is automation of public organizations. There is a lot of scope when we can integrate the accounting and taxation and automation of these services in the public organizations, which no big companies have entered into Africa still. Only recently the TCS have entered and they are trying to do the automation in the African countries, but there's a lot of scope in the automation of the accounting sectors. So with this, I sum up that Uganda has a lot of opportunities in jobs, consulting, auditing, automation, and even as entrepreneurs. And I would like to add up one single thing with respect to the investments. I have seen that many other speakers have told how ease of doing operations there. Concerning in Uganda, if somebody is trying to open a company or start any activity, it is possible to complete all the formalities within a single day. In a single day, a person can come to Uganda, complete all the formalities and open up a company and start activity on the second day. So that much ease of operation is in Uganda, and we welcome all to Uganda for any kind of
Adi bhai, if I hear you properly, you are the real brand ambassador of Uganda, it seems to me, the way you are promoting Uganda. But it's a clear message to, I think, all the young chartered accountants. There is a lot of scope in Uganda. So you need to think over it. If any assistance is required, the chapter is there to help you guys. With this, let me move to our seventh, obviously not the least speaker, CA Vishwanshu Trivedi, who is from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania chapter. CA Vishwanshu Trivedi ji, my question to you is, recently we have heard that Tanzania has smoothly passed through the general elections and the existing CCM party is re-elected with the glorious majority. So what do you think that this government will promise in this second term and how it will help the professionals? CA Vishwanshu ji.
Unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You can talk.
Yeah, you're right that there were elections in October 2020. The existing ruling party, they came back in power, 84% seats in the parliament, huge mandate. Our honorable president, His Excellency John Pombe Magufuli, has ambitious plans now for the economy and people of Tanzania. His government is seeing this mandate as a big opportunity to direct the economy to higher growth levels. Tanzania is a politically stable nation with one of the Africa's fastest growing economies in nearly 20 years now, 7% average annual growth in GDP. So it's quite high compared to many other countries. Actually, on July 1st this year, World Bank announced that Tanzania's gross national income per capita increased from $1,020 in 2018 to $1,080 in 2019. This has put the nation from lower income economy to middle income economy. This was actually planned by the government to reach in 2025, but it is reached in 2020 itself. It's a good accolade for the government. But this increased GNI per capita is impressive but not enough, because according to the World Bank Doing Business Report 2020, Tanzania ranks 141 out of 190 economies. However, the GDP is expected to grow by 5.8% in 2021 and 6.1% in 2022. So these are the current economic scenario and the government and the present living standards in Tanzania.
Okay.
We are progressing well, Anishji.
So, which means again a positive news from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania also. Yes. Things are going in the right direction, and this will generate a lot of opportunities for the professionals as well as the entrepreneurs.
Right.
So thank you for sharing. Let's move to the second aspect, that how we can benefit to increase the ties between India and UAE. So my questions to Neeraj again, and this time brief, although you already have a brief answer, but let us, because in the constraint of time, since we have to cover everyone, let's have a quick brief update on the India-UAE. So my question to Neeraj, to you, is how can bilateral trades be improved further between India and UAE, and how Indian CAs can collaborate with CAs in UAE to have more synergies which can contribute to the growth of both the economies?
Yeah, I partly covered my response in the previous session, previous question itself. I mean, since the CA overseas chapter have been recognized at par with CII and FICCI by Ministry of External Affairs, our role as chartered accountants have enhanced tremendously. And we have seen that there are a lot of communication coming in these days on any event that is happening back home in India, in terms of manufacturing advancement, in terms of any fair, industrial fair, or whatever. And we are now closely cooperating and coordinating with Indian Embassy in terms of disseminating this information to all the chartered accountants who are well placed in various sectors in the whole country. Because of this, we have also seen that a lot of people, a lot of chartered accountants now are coming ahead to attend these, which earlier were going unnoticed. So we see that, and at the same time, as I explained, that this country is well established in terms of infrastructure, in of 100% ownership structure. The best part is there is no corporate tax. That is again a very big thing that one should look at it. With the ease of doing business, I suggest that accountant in practice in India, they should incentivize their clients to come and open a shop here in UAE and take advantage of the world-class infrastructure. Plus, please bear in mind that the cost of living is high because of the top-notch infrastructure and decent living conditions. So that has to be kept in mind while taking these decisions.
Okay. But with cost of living high, you get a good standard of living as well.
True.
So
True.
Thank you for putting your views, Neeraj. Moving to the Kaiser Shah. Okay, let me first ask the Ajay Bhai. Ajay Bhai, we have talked about the Bahrain and what lies in the future. But if you can just highlight, in your view, what are the 2 or 3 weaknesses in which, if Bahrain can overcome, it can convert to the opportunities?
Sure, Anish bhai. I think the first one, I would probably say the biggest one is still the dependency on the oil revenues. I think despite all the diversification efforts that we are trying to do here, I think 85% is still dependent on that. And the COVID has a big setup on some of the key industries which are leading the diversification efforts, such as tourism and hospitality and so on. And another weakness I would probably see is the sovereign rating, which is probably the lowest, one of the lowest in the region, and which is predominantly due to the heavy government debt. And I believe this will potentially put a pressure on Bahrain, being a corporate and personal tax regime in the coming years, and also possibly the fixed peg to the US dollar and so on. Another weakness I would probably see is a vibrant capital market is missing, which probably needs to be supported by the government. If once that is overcome, I believe there's a lot of potential there for new, as we talked earlier about the potential of new companies coming in, hubs coming in. I think this will support that area as well. Specifically in relation to India, Bahrain is probably the only country in the GCC which does not have a double tax avoidance agreement with India. So I think this is something that, if it is improved, again, can improve a lot of trade between these two countries. And specifically, if I look at a threat for Indian CAs, I would probably say the increasing need to be globally recognized. I would say, especially in relation to some of the other professional bodies. Of course, we are aware that our presidency, Atulji, has taken the significant steps in this regard, including planning to roll out a global curriculum. So I think this probably would be a welcome step and should help the Indian CAs to be recognized in much more industries and in professional opportunities. So I think this is some of.
Well, I think we are moving in the right direction. First, Neeraj covered that we have been given status equivalent to CIA and FICCI. And now also we have got the NARIC evaluation done of our degree. So I think things are moving in the right direction, and very soon we will see some positive news coming out. Okay. Moving to you, Kaiser Bhai, how can Indian professionals, especially chartered accountants, can contribute towards the Indian government's Atmanirbhar Bharat?
CAs working in Kuwait with more than 10 to 15 years experience usually rise to high positions in companies. They are CEOs, as I said earlier, CEOs, CFOs, CEOs of companies. They manage big conglomerates, family businesses, etc., of high net worth individuals and corporates. With India aggressively pursuing the $5 trillion economy mantra and the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, which is initiated by our Honorable Prime Minister, a lot of sectors have opened up in India. Indian Embassy in Kuwait, in association with various professional associations and Chartered Accountant Association, is holding road shows, workshops, seminars showcasing national, regional expertise industries wherein investments are possible. Of course, as Neeraj ji mentioned, that this has all been possible because of the recognition that the Ministry of External Affairs have given the overseas chapters, considering them at par with SOCHM, FICCI, CII. And I think we strongly believe that Indian emerging markets in days to come would become all the more robust, lucrative, and stable. So I think that's what most investors would be looking for. And CAs would definitely play an important role in spearheading this initiative, as they are professionals well respected and reckoned with in Kuwait. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you for your views. Moving to you, Ramananda Prabhu Sahab. We all know that after the UAE, now Oman is in the process of implementing the VAT. So what do you think that the role of Indian CAs to support and upgrade system, particularly digitalization for this VAT implementation?
Anish Mehtaji, there is, recently, including, there is an amendment of Income Tax Act in Oman, which is 118/2021, and now recently 121/2020. The Oman VAT, Royal Decree has been notified in last 18th October 2020. It is all very good news for all of us being a chartered accountant. There is a huge opportunity as we are implementing the VAT in Oman by April 2021. Okay, be it system change, be it the implementation of the new regulatory reporting standard, and we have also, along with this, recently Central Bank of Oman has also implemented CSR, Common Reporting Standard with the European Union and OECD model, where there is a large opportunity for even for a chartered accountants in the field of compliance, in the field of taxation and the reporting and risk management. All this which is coupled by, and we have working with the deadline now. As we are already end of December now, anytime the regulations and executive regulations from the tax authorities will be soon out, and everybody is in a war footing, basis to get hold of the things and get compliance, get reporting standard, be it the system implementation, system modification, or new vendor. You have a chartered accountants has a huge, consulting opportunity in Sultanate of Oman, which we are all waiting. And and not only that, we also one more good news for you, Anish Mehtaji, and for all our Indian chartered accountants. Oman has also now, given, there is a free visa now. No need visa to enter Oman. This is a new development. All chartered accountants can take a ticket, air ticket, and reach Oman now.
Yes, all please take the ticket and knock on the doors of Ramananda Prabhu Sahab. He is there to welcome you guys.
So, and you're all welcome, and look forward to see you. You have all open invitation.
Great. So with this positive, energetic views, let's move to Sandeep Bhai. Sandeep, Qatar is, as you mentioned, Qatar is aiming to be sports country with the FIFA 2022 and now also bidding for the Asian Cup and Olympics. Do you see opportunities for CA in this areas as well?
Thank you, Anishji. As you know that most of the oil and gas countries are on the path of diversification.
True.
Same is true with Qatar. Qatar is driven by Qatar National Vision 2030. And that will be the yardstick where do we stand and how much we can diversify from oil and gas. And sports is one such area where Qatar is investing a lot. And besides sports and FIFA, Asian Games, we have many more opportunities in the areas of practice. And chartered accountant from India can come and set up their offices as part of the Qatar financial centers and also as part of the local partnerships. But we see more opportunities in the areas of entrepreneurship. So there are many more opportunities where business can be set up under Qatar Free Zones, Manatek, and many more opportunities are there. I can say in a nutshell, country is opening up and we have many more opportunities, not only for practice, for chartered accountants, even for businessmen. And coupled with that, I will say this is the most hospitable country where our community is supported by a strong community of 700,000 from India. And besides, the community is supported by Indian Embassy to a great extent. So overall, it's a win-win situation for all chartered accountants to be in Qatar and flourish further. Over to you, Anishji.
Very amazing thoughts, and hearing to you today as well as earlier also, I think you are really excited on the Qatar's development and Qatar's prospect. So it's a very good news. Okay, let me ask Adi, the youngest chairman, in what ways chartered accountants from Uganda can contribute towards the India's Atmanirbhar initiative?
Anishji, to explain this, I would like to bring another fact to you now. You see, in Uganda,
But only in brief.
There are only 25,000 Indians. It is just less than 0.2% of Indians exist in Uganda, but we contribute 60% of the total revenue collected by the government. It shows how Indians play a major role in Uganda. And if you observe, 50% of these total revenue is collected from the chartered accountant-led companies from Uganda. So in this scenario, we are finding a way with the recent development of ICAI India under the Atulji recognition of ICAI chapter. We have taken the initiative to contribute to the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So all the CAs in Uganda, who is contributing 50% of the country's revenue, is trying, and we are discussing the ways how they can do their imports from India rather than the competing countries from the world. So we are finding the ways, and we have identified the bottlenecks, which not a major bottlenecks, very small bottlenecks, which we are trying to discuss with the Minister of External Affairs India. So if those bottlenecks can be waived off, then all the imports can be done from India, the raw material imports can be done from India. In the terms of figures, as per the Indian statistics now, only 5% of the exports of total exports from India is to Africa. As you have explained well before, the importance of Africa and the scope of Africa. If this 5% of the Indian exports can be made to 10% in the coming 2-3 years, it will be a big achievement for all of our chartered accountants in Africa. So this is how I can say that we are trying to contribute to the Atmanirbhar Bharat by just replacing the imports from other countries to India. And on this platform, as all the GCC and all the chairmen are here, maybe we need to encourage our key players in the key industries to see and to find out the ways how they can replace the imports to their respective economies from other countries to India, which will directly contribute to the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Okay, great. While I hear many things which you have talked in support, but I have captured one thing, that 0.2% contributes 60%, and I'm sure in that 0.2% you are also included. So great, great. With this, let me move on to CA Vishwanshu Trivedi Saab, Chairman of Dar es Salaam. We talked about the economy of Tanzania, but your country, Tanzania, is very rich in natural resources and international tourism. So what do you think are the prospects of aligning the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative with Tanzania businesses with respect to investment as well as employment? Vishwanshu Saab?
Unmute.
Vishwanshu ji, unmute.
And Neeraj is very particular in this.
Yes. So, thank you, Anish ji. This is my favorite subject. Maybe I'll take few more minutes in this one.
So we have 2 minutes left now.
Okay, no problem. The natural resources are in abundance in Tanzania, like most other African countries. Tanzania is rich in mines and minerals, and it's attracting the highest FDIs among the East African countries so far as mines and minerals are concerned. So very large list of mining opportunities. We have iron ore, we have soda ash, we have coal, we have clay soil. Natural gas recently found 55 trillion cubic feet, which is, I think Sandeep ji would be very happy to know that we also have huge deposits of natural gas. We have uranium, we have gold, diamonds and Tanzanite gemstones. Currently, it is also announced that Tanzania has huge deposits of helium gas. Here, I would like to refer to a statement by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who said that Atmanirbhar Bharat is not about being self-contained or being close to the world. He said that the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat merges domestic production and consumption with global supply chains. So we see a nice synergy between Indian domestic production and Tanzanian mineral supply chains. When you talk of Tanzania, as Anish ji in his opening remarks said that you talk of Mount Kilimanjaro, of course, Serengeti National Park, and many other famous game parks. So there is a huge opportunity in tourism sector, and all are welcome with red carpet to invest. And also Indian tourism department along with say state tourism corporations can export project consultancy services, and they can earn precious foreign exchange in return. We have also opportunities in ICT. Tanzania is growing very rapidly in telecommunications market since last 10 years. Like now India is the best in ICT technologies, second to none. So we have great opportunity for India in these areas also.
So, so overall, there are a lot of opportunities. Tanzania, which is the untapped market, both Tanzania, Uganda, particularly Africa. I think there is many things to look forward to by the young professional chartered accountants, entrepreneurs. Thank you very much, all the eminent panelists, for your views and thoughts. And my message to India, people in India, the chartered accountants in India, there are many opportunities in Africa as well as the Middle East region. Africa is a new untapped market, which definitely people should explore. Middle East is an existing mature market. So, but all the chapters are there to give you a helping hand once you come over there, or if you have any questions. You can also reach out to them. Particularly in Dubai, there is a regional office of the ICAI also, which is headed by Regional Director CA Pradeep Singh Baweja. So you can write to them as well. And he manages both Africa and Middle East region. So you can write an email to them and we'll definitely respond to them. So since everyone is so positive, yeah, so just last one. See, everyone is so positive. Let me conclude with a positive thought that be bold when you lose, be calm when you win. Changing the face can change nothing, but facing the change will change everything. With this, once again, I thank the leadership at the ICAI. Over to you, Hansraj Chuksa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anish ji.
Thank you very much, Anish Mehta ji.
Thank you, Anish ji, for a wonderful moderating the session. It's my proud privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks to all the panelists. Really, it's you all are representing to the ICAI at a different jurisdiction all across the Middle East and the African. And the topic given to each one of you is really been, it's finding out the opportunity and how it can be unlocked, unlocking those potentials, whatsoever is there amongst the chartered accountants. And the way you have spelled out, whether it is the opportunities, the accounting sectors, or whether it is in the audit or the consulting, or in the technology or the automation, all across all the region, I really appreciate from my heart the way it is been given to the all the participants, to the members who have joined us from all across India and from the overseas places also. I'm very grateful and thankful to each and every panelist, Neeraj Ritolia ji from the UAE chapter, Ajay Kumar ji from the Bahrain chapter, Qatar Sakir Bhai from the Kuwait chapter, Ramanada ji from the Oman chapter, Sandeep Chaudhary ji from the Qatar chapter, and Adi Narayan from the Uganda chapter, and Viswanshu Trivedi from the Tanzania chapter. Friends, so many things has been spoken with regarding the $5 trillion economy and the strength, how we can win over. Point something percent at one of the place can raise the funds for the country to a major extent. And the way we all are developed and put our fingerprints all across the globe. We all have to understand with there the huge opportunities lying at a different different jurisdiction, whether it is the Middle East or the Africa. But we all have to understand with there is a way if one finds the way and one put the best into it, so then definitely whether it is the $5 trillion in the time to come, it is really been achievable target which has been targeted, which has been set by our government in India. And I can understand it is only the chartered accountants as a professional fraternity. They are the only profession. It is the only profession which can pave the way, which can find the best of the solution for reaching to this level. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, that means spreading the wings across the globe, generating from here and going towards the globe. That is the best way. I'm very grateful and thankful to each one of you for giving us the best of the knowledge, best of the understanding with the clarity and thought-provoking opportunities, or the way it has been shared with us. I really appreciate each one of you. Friends, now let me summarize of the whole of the day. It's a jam-packed, full of knowledge, starting with the very first inaugural session, our own CA Piyush Goyal ji, the Honorable Minister from the Commerce and Industry and the Railway. He started with and going towards the another as a Minister of State from the Corporate Affairs and the Finance Ministry, CA Anurag Singh Thakur ji, who happens to be a very close to our profession because we are under the ministry directly under the administrative control of the MCA. He inspired us. He has given us thought-provoking understanding of the strength of this profession. And the going forward, IFAC President also, he has also shared the role of the Indian Chartered Accountants to putting it into the globe. And moving towards the session 1 and session 2, really been it is whether it is the accounting profession and the role of the profession in accelerating the economic growth. Economic growth cannot happen without the support and without the strength of this profession. That was being taken forward by our own CA TN Manoharan ji, Sandeep Patel ji, R. Sitharaman ji, and one young and dynamic MP from the Karnataka, Mr. Tejasvi Surya also. This first session has gone well, which has created so many good things to understand with. Technical session 2 has also been transforming the future, enabling excellence and augmenting trust. Trust augmentation is naturally, it's a part and the process once you carry out any kind of the professional activities or the professional engagements. It's building trust is the necessity, and the excellence to achieve with that has really been the need of the hour. So with that a technical session by one Marvin E. King, Chair Emirates IIRC, Len Jui, IAASB, Srinivas Gurujada, Head PEFA Secretariat and the Global Lead Public Finance Management World Bank, CA Amarjit Chopra ji, our past President of the ICAI, CA Abbas Ali Mirza ji, who happens to be a 21st session chair of the United Nations, UNACTED and the ISARs. So friends, the whole of the day has really been, this is a launching the very first day, which started with a great going. And tomorrow also, friends, we will be starting the second day we'll be starting the day at 2 p.m. With the unlocking professional opportunities in Australia, New Zealand, and the Southeast Asia. Friends, whole opportunities like we talk about this profession is a global profession. No word which we can ignore with, because we are matching with the global strength, global understanding of the law, global understanding of the accounting system, global understanding of all the opportunities available, whether it is the Middle East, whether it is the African countries, whether it is the Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, whether in the developed nation like USA and the Canada and the other part of the globe. So we all have to gear up, strengthen ourselves and make our flag of this institution to the high level. Today, friends, with these words, I'm very grateful and thankful to each one of you, and I'm very grateful and thankful to my friend on the council side also, Dheeraj Khandelwalji, who have started this session and who has taken this lead, and the moderator, my friend Anish Mehtaji from the Dubai, who happens to be a chairman and the good friend of mine. Whenever I visited Dubai, he has been welcoming like me as a elder brother. That kind of feel like it's a friendship of the profession, and the friendship which has been created by turning around to be we all have to be like a strength of the unity also. So with these words, I am very grateful and thankful to each one of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Great words.